Hey everyone, what is up? You are watching Super Nintendo Collection Quest, the monthly video where I go over my recent Super Nintendo game pickups. I play through them a little bit, do a quick review, and see if it's a game I'd like to come back to. And you have a chance to win a free game for the system of your choice every month.
As a kid, I loved my NES, but when I got my Super Nintendo, that was it. Great graphics, sound, and gameplay, I was hooked. Some of my fondest gaming memories are from playing some of the greatest RPG, adventure, action platform, and multiplayer games on the SNES. It is my goal to own every North American Super Nintendo game released. So, follow me on my quest to Super Nintendo completion.
Alright, so this month I picked up number 620 in my collection, Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage. Now this is actually one of 3 games in the North American Super Nintendo library that used a colored cartridge other than the standard gray. The other 2 games that used colored cartridges are Doom, which is the same red color as Spider-Man, and Killer Instinct, which is on a black cartridge. Alright, so let's take a look at Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage. Maximum Carnage is a single-player beat-em-up game featuring characters from Marvel Comics. One interesting thing about this game is Green Jelly produced the music for this game. The title screen music in this game is actually Carnage Rules off the band's 333 album. As for gameplay, it is very challenging and unfortunately quite repetitive. You do fight some of the same few characters over and over again, but one of the more frustrating things to me was the reuse of boss characters. By the end of the game, I must have fought Shriek, Carnage, and Doppelganger like 10 times each. I can usually forgive beat-em-ups for having repetitious enemies, so long as I get a new boss at the end of each level, and some unique looking levels. Unfortunately, even the early levels get reused as later levels, and to extend the gameplay, you will sometimes have to walk back and forth on the same stage, fighting new waves of enemies. I do like that you get to choose between Spider-Man or Venom on some stages. Between stages, the story is revealed in comic book-like fashion, and along the way, you'll get power-ups that let you call on your fellow companions to clear out enemies. Damn girl, what you be putting in that weave? Number 621, F1 Pole Position. Released in 1992, F1 Pole Position is a split-screen racing game that takes advantage of Mode 7 for the 3D effect. You can play 1 or 2 players. Unfortunately, the screen will still be split in single-player mode. But on the bright side, the second half of the screen will be used as a rear-view mirror, so it's not totally wasted space. You can customize your vehicle for each track, or check automatic tuning if you want to just get straight to the action. The car will automatically shift when it needs to, but you can still change gears manually using the L and R buttons to optimize your efficiency. There are even wet weather conditions, which will basically just make your steering a little sloppy. Not a bad racing game, but I feel like F1 Pole Position 2 would be the better game to play. However, that was never released in North America, only in Europe and Japan. Number 622, Dragon View. Dragon View is meant to be a prequel to Draken, but unlike Draken, it was only released for the Super Nintendo. It plays similarly, but with better graphics. It's a side-scrolling action RPG that also uses a 3D first-person view when traveling to different towns or dungeons. The writing for this game is unusually good for a 16-bit title. I found myself genuinely interested in what any of the NPCs had to say. Even little things like the shop owners in different towns having different personalities. I'm so used to games reusing the same shop owner sprites and conversation for each town that this just really stood out to me. The combat system is very satisfying as well. You'll have to rely on a bit of skill, dodging, and knowing when to attack. Definitely not just a button masher. And things get even more interesting when fighting more than one enemy type at a time. The side-scrolling is 3D in that you can move up and down to dodge enemies or walk around obstacles. There are also boss characters which are also very satisfying to defeat, always requiring a bit of strategy. Along the way, you'll gain experience and level up your character. You'll also find attack, defense, magic, and health upgrades with the help of various villagers. They will sometimes inform you about an area of interest that might not even be marked on your map. And of course, there's a save battery to record your progress up to 3 different save slots. The controls are smooth and responsive. Overall, this is a really good RPG on the Super Nintendo that often gets overlooked, and I'm definitely going to be coming back to this game to finish it. Number 623, Tommy Moe's Winter Extreme, Skiing and Snowboarding. This is actually a pretty decent snowboarding and skiing game on the Super Nintendo. There is a competition mode which gives you 3 tries to complete each challenge, or you can play freestyle, which is like an arcade mode. You'll need to hit the checkpoints within a certain time and eventually make it all the way down the hill. I always love it when Mode 7 games have hilly terrain. Too often do I see Mode 7 games that have flat surfaces. Anyway, this game is fast and frantic, but so satisfying to make it to the end of the hill. There's also a password system to resume your progress. I have to say though, playing this game makes me want to go back and play SSX or Amped or pretty much any of the more modern snowboarding games again. It's been a while since I've played any of those. Number 624, and a game I've been wanting to get back into my library for a while now, Super Smash TV. Super Smash TV is a game I played quite a bit when I was younger. Many times when friends would come over, we would play Super Smash TV. It's an excellent single-player or co-op game that controls a lot like Robotron, which makes sense since one of the original programmers of Robotron was the designer for Smash TV. In Super Smash TV, you'll take out waves of enemies while collecting cash, prizes, and special weapons. Once you've cleared the room, you can move on to the next, sometimes with branching paths and treasure rooms to discover. You'll use the D-pad to move your character, and the action buttons to point in the direction you want to shoot. So for instance, hold X to shoot up, hold A to shoot right, or hold X and A at the same time to shoot diagonally upright. It controls surprisingly well, and it's about as close as the Super Nintendo can get to dual analog controls we use on modern consoles. It's just a fun, shoot everything in sight type of game, and it's always a blast to come back to when friends are over. And finally, number 625, Nosferatu. Nosferatu is another Super Nintendo game with a great intro. This intro sequence really sets the mood for the rest of the game. From the title screen, it looks like it has a bit of a Castlevania look to it, but the gameplay and controls are a lot more like Prince of Persia. Now I have to say, the day I got this game, I didn't get around until playing it until late at night, all alone. This game freaked me out. Just listen to this music. So basically, you'll traverse through this castle fighting monsters like werewolves, Frankenstein's monster, ghouls, etc. with your bare fists. There are switch puzzles to solve and many traps to fall victim to. You'll also need to be in good control of your body because things like this can happen, which can result in loss of health. Unfortunately, this game doesn't offer any sort of password or save system, but you can continue as many times as you want. One thing I really don't like in video games are cheap traps that really aren't visible in any sort of way, requiring you to memorize their locations. This game has those, but I'm alright with it. Not happy, but I'm alright with it because it genuinely adds to the fear you'll feel from playing this game. The graphics and animation are good, and the music and sound is effective. Effective and effective. I'll definitely come back and try to power through more of this game later, possibly during the day with friends that I can pass the controller onto. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this month. I picked up 6 new Super Nintendo games to add to my collection, and I'm now up to 625 North American games and have just under 100 left to go. Alright, so let's get on to the game giveaway. This month's winner for the random free game for the system of your choice is Abdul Jackson. Congratulations, send me a private message, let me know which system you would like the random free game for, and let me know the address you'd like it sent out to, and I'll get that out to you right away. If you are interested in entering next month's game giveaway for the random free game, all you have to do is be subscribed, so subscribe if you aren't already, like this video, and leave a comment down below in this video. I will choose a random winner at next month's video. Alright, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you later.